Welcome to the channel, everybody. I'm excited you're here, and I'm excited to talk about ticket sales for the Odyssey. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal about crazy ticket sales? It's Christopher Nolan, it's the Odyssey. Of course, there's a ticket frenzy going on right now. Well, I think there might be a little bit more to it than that. So there were some articles online that started to catch my eye, specifically from Variety. And then I started seeing headlines like all over social media that kind of prompted me to look into the ticket sales and the frenzy that's been going on. And I'll put some of the screenshots of the headlines up so you can see them. Now, a lot of these claims are what you would expect from a movie this big with a director with this much notoriety to just absolutely wild stuff. Like crazy, like how could that be true? So some of these claims are concerning like scalp tickets, like IMAX tickets for the Odyssey sell for hundreds of dollars. Okay, that's understandable. I would expect that that happens for other movies too. There's also claims saying IMAX tickets selling for thousands of dollars. Is that true? That seems like a ridiculous amount of money. And then there's also the claims that like just IMAX tickets are sold out. They're just sold out. So what's the truth? So I looked into this for a little bit, guys. I didn't look for just like hours and hours, okay? But I found some things that I think are very interesting and you might as well. I got on eBay, right? I'm seeing if there are tickets, what they're selling for. Right out the gate, there's plenty of tickets on there for hundreds of dollars. So that is true, okay? So what about the claim about thousands of dollars? Well, I couldn't find any tickets for thousands of dollars. Now hold on. I found a few things that might approximate to that, okay? Now you might be arguing, oh, you're just being too literal. But I think these details matter and I'll try to get into that why. So just hang in there with me. I didn't find any individual tickets for $1,000. But I found, 2 tickets for $1,000, a group of tickets for like $1,600. So that is true in the sense that tickets, plural, are up to $1,000. I just find it very strange that a lot of these articles, the way they're written, the way I read them anyway, I find that they suggest that a ticket, individual ticket, could be up to $1,000. Now, if you click on the articles and you read through them, they don't say that. They clarify, right? They clarify that it's like 2 tickets or a group of tickets. Now, I don't know if I've already put it up on the screen, but there was one from People. Now, I know that they're more of a tabloid, okay? So I don't take them seriously pretty much at all. But the audacity to write this headline. The headline is like tickets for up to $10,000. Now, again, there's an S, it's plural. But the way you read it, it makes it sound like there could be a ticket for $1,000 or up to $10,000. You click on it and they were saying that it's like, I think 12 tickets were being sold for $10,000. One more point, and then I want to dissect this a little more. Are the IMAX tickets sold out? No, I didn't look at every single IMAX screen in the country, okay? But I looked at the ones in Dallas. Now, granted, they're not the best seats, right? They're all front row seats that are left, but there are still tickets left, and that matters. So why am I talking about this, okay? Let's get down to it. Now, what I'm about to say, okay, is just speculation, okay? I believe this might be happening, and the reason I believe this might be happening is I have a little bit of experience in filmmaking, in the filmmaking industry. I've worked in social media and marketing as well. Now, just because I have done those things, that doesn't mean that what I'm about to say is what's actually going on, okay? I notice trends. I'm good at looking for what's going on in the culture, what people are saying online, and trying to connect dots, okay? So again, this is just speculation. But it seems to me that it's possible that the marketing team is encouraging outlets to run with these kinds of headlines to create scarcity. Because if they're successful in doing that, this encourages people to go out and buy multiple tickets. And then thinking that they're gonna get, up to $1,000 for those tickets, they then try to scalp those tickets. For studios and filmmakers, they can't really help if people scalp their tickets, right? Like that could be said of any movie in all of history. If someone decides to scalp tickets, that's on them. Now, I don't think any major studio or well-respected filmmaker would ever encourage anybody to scalp tickets, okay? So I wanna be clear on that too. Even so, they want their tickets to sell. They wanna sell out. They want to get a return on their investment. They wanna break records. This is Christopher Nolan, this is the Odyssey. There's been talk about it for over a year before the cast was ever announced. There's been so much hype. This is epic, it's all shot on IMAX. They want to sell tickets. So I'm not saying that they're strictly doing anything wrong or that, again, that this is even happening, but it just seems almost like all the headlines that I'm seeing right now is like not necessarily reporting what's happening. It feels like a marketing push. It feels like, oh, get your tickets. They're all selling out. Oh, get your tickets. They're so expensive. You know, did you grab them? You might not be able to grab them. So again, with this idea of scarcity, people will go look at those screenshots I just put on. They're like, oh, there's still some seats left. I'll buy all those and then I'll go sell them. Yeah, they're not great seats, but eventually someone's gonna wanna buy a ticket. Again, I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm curious to know your thoughts about it. I noticed something else that's going on with the Odyssey that might be connected to the ticket sale frenzy. I noticed another headline that is not even related to all the other controversies that I've been seeing concerning, you know, either casting choices or, you know, changes to the material or the story itself. And this caught my attention. Apparently, the Odyssey just received an R rating. Now, you might be thinking, well, what's the big deal about that? Like, it's an epic, it's gonna have, you know, battle scenes in it, you know, violence, it's like, it makes sense that it'd be rated R. But there's more to it than that. If you read the trades, if you look at, you know, the article from Variety, they point out that not only did it get an R rating, but that would then make this the most expensive R-rated film ever made. Meaning it not only needs to make a ton of money to make its money back, but it needs to make like a crazy amount of money to turn a profit, okay? Now, if you follow movies at the box office, you're already aware of that. But I think it plays more into the fact that there's already so much news about this film. There's already so much controversy. I've watched several interviews with like Christopher Nolan on 60 Minutes. I watched one from GQ with Matt Damon and Robert Pattinson and Tom Holland. I thought it was interesting because they're talking about filmmaking and their processes, and as an actor, as a filmmaker, I like that stuff. But I also found it kind of frustrating because they didn't talk about the film itself that much. They talked about being on set, they talked about working with Chris. That's cool, but they didn't really talk about what it was like to play Odysseus. You know, what it was like to embody this character and what this character means in the story and how they, you know, support one another and how, like, what's their favorite theme, you know, like, or you know, like, obviously they want to be careful about spoilers, but come on, this movie is telling a story that's like ancient, literally ancient. I know we live in this world that is just like so terrified of spoilers. That's a video for another time, but even so, you can avoid spoiler territory, but talk more about the actual story in the film, like what people can be expected. You can tease some things without spoiling things. Like, man, like, I really can't wait for them to see how we portrayed this arc or this character or something. It was just so kind of like evading very specific topics about the film itself. This movie, if you're unaware, like with how the Academy Awards and the Oscars work, like you have to meet certain requirements to qualify to be nominated for Oscars. It seems like Nolan has met every one of those things. He's checked all the boxes, okay? Some people are arguing that he doesn't need to do that. He's already won all the awards for Oppenheimer and things like that. I don't know. I don't know where his mind is at concerning awards. He may not care that much, but he's not the only one involved, right? We've got Universal Studios, we've got other people involved in the making of this movie. So that might be one of their concerns. But even more so than that, think about it. Christopher Nolan, he's wanted to make this movie for most of his career. For the longest time, we just knew that he was making it. We didn't know who was attached. We didn't know which translation he was gonna be using. We knew it was gonna be epic. They sold tickets a year in advance. Like, there has been hype, there has been buildup. It's a 3-hour movie, and now it's rated R. And not only is it rated R, it's the most expensive rated R. So think about all those things together, right? What does that mean? That means there's some type of push, I feel like, that this is supposed to be like the greatest movie ever made in the history of cinema. Completely shot on IMAX. Again, all these things. There's some push of like, they want to break the box office records. It seems to me that they are more concerned about setting epic records than faithfully adapting an epic story, an epic poem. And honestly, guys, I could be completely wrong about all this. I really don't know, but something just feels fishy to me. I also want to say that I really like Christopher Nolan's movies, okay? I love the Dark Knight trilogy. I think Inception is fantastic. The Prestige is incredible. Like, he's made so many great films, and like a lot of them I would consider some of my favorite films. I would love to even work with him someday, okay? But I will honestly say I do have some reservations. I'm currently reading the Odyssey, and already I'm just kind of like, ooh, I don't know. But it's a cultural moment. I'm still excited. I like the IMAX format. That's cool to me that it's all shot on IMAX. So I'm gonna see it. And I hope it's good, but I don't know. And I'm just gonna be honest. If it's good, I will absolutely tell you. And if it's not, I'll tell you that too. That being said, that's gonna wrap it up for me, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, if you found any value in it, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'm really trying to grow this channel, and I'm having a lot of fun making these videos. I'd love to know what you think down in the comments. I love engaging with the community. As always, guys, I so appreciate your time. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.